Sri Lanka is at a crucial turning point in the history of the country since independence 1948. The youth of the country has now come forward and they are now on the street protesting, demanding transparency, governance, and restoring the rights that have been misused by the politicians for a long period of time. Not only the politicians, various stakeholders are responsible for this current plight that has taken place in Sri Lanka. As I said, the businessmen of this country has significant responsibility. The politicians thrives on the platforms or the connections, the networks, and the association offered by the businessmen for them to make more money through the businessmen's various engagement. And one of the failed institution mechanism on the country is the chambers. The business chambers, whether it's the commerce business chambers, industry business chambers, whatever you name it, all the industry sector business chambers have failed Sri Lanka miserably. In the last, I would say, 70 years, they have become kind of the clubs or associations to thrive their own engagement, not only looking at the country. I was invited by the German government when I was engaged in a multilateral institution leading a certain engagement in the year 2014. The German government invited me to understand the German dual education systems and the chamber mechanism, one of the best in the world. In Germany, the chambers are very powerful. Chambers operate like business entities. The German Federal Chamber is very powerful. The president of the German Federal Chamber has a cabinet rank and with the cabinet of the federal government. And the district and the regional chambers are very powerful. Any business entity that need to get anything done from the regulatory mechanism, from the government, they don't have to go to any government department. For instance, if they need some regulatory clearance from the income tax, the labor department, or any other environmental department, they don't go to any one other government departments or divisions. They just go to the respective chambers in the region, in the districts, and bring their problem, bring their issue which needed to get clearance. Of course, they have to pay a price for that and a fee for that. And the chamber handles that with the respective government departments and clear it for the respective businesses or industry. So there is no direct or indirect engagement of the businesses with the government department. It is absolutely through chambers. It is the chambers that handles that. And therefore it minimizes or eliminates corruption totally. So the government official doesn't deal with the businesses, industries, industry leaders. They only deal with the chambers who does professionally clear all those. They are expert on those. Whether they need to get clearance from the tax or the labor or environmental or any other, the license that is required for the business to be facilitated and operated, it is the chambers that will clear that. And the business industries are the members of the respective chambers who will get all these things done. And the business entities who are members of the respective chambers highly depend on the respective chambers to do that job. So they have no interactions, no engagement with any of the politicians. And as a result of that, the politicians, their only revenue generation is the revenue that they come from their offices. There is no way that they can really do any corrupt activities, directly engage with the businessman. The businessman doesn't have to influence through politicians to get their business facilitation done. And that's exactly that happens in Germany. And what I've seen in Germany is the combination of the East and the West Germany. There is a lot of checks and balances. And I think we need to bring that mechanism in Sri Lanka. So they make chambers very strong and powerful so that the businessmen will not go to respective government department or the ministries or the ministers. They will only deal with the chambers, and the chambers will in turn get all their respective approval for a fee. This is one of the way forward for us to really make the politician less powerful and for them to be more professional in their political engagement, and the chambers to become more stronger and vibrant in supporting the respective industries, businesses. That is one of the way forward for Sri Lanka in order to, because I've seen in the last 70 years, it is the businessmen that has created the thriving opportunities for the politicians to thrive and prosper, and through corruption and through various engagement. And it is the piggybacking on the politicians, businessmen piggyback on politicians, politicians piggyback on businessmen. This has to be eliminated. The one way to eliminate is to make chambers very strong and powerful, and the businessmen will only deal with the chambers, only chambers will deal with the respective government institution mechanism. This is one way that we can transform Sri Lanka in our journey.